Hi, class. I've gotten a question from a couple students about section 8.5 here from week three's material. And so what I wanted to do was go ahead and make a video to walk you through how to do it and sort of break it down, and so hopefully help you out with that. Okay, so we're here at the Inside Hawks. This is what I'm in here as if I was a student. So I'm going to go over here right to the practice part of it, so we can start looking at some problems. Uh, the learn definitely want to do that too. That's the textbook. Well, let's go ahead and go to the practice. Okay, and so just a quick reminder before we get going here. Remember, if you look down here, there's the tutor. What is so helpful about it? Well, if you go here, you click on tutor, then it'll actually kind of walk you through the process. So if you want to work step by step on it, if you have a good sense of how to do it, you can start working on it. It'll guide you, or it can actually just you know you can hit the learn and go through it. So the tutor is really helpful because it's a little more targeted on that. So there's a video in here as well. So do check that out for sure. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this here. I'm going to do this problem here to show you. So what we're doing in section 8.5 is we're doing what's called interest and mixture problems. Um, and in the course of the process, you're always going to be doing two equations. Uh, the first equation, let me go ahead and sort of give you a guide as to how you're going to set them up. Equation number one is typically always going to be an amount. Remember, you're taking two things and you're combining them together to create one larger thing. So think of it, well, in this case, we're investing. So we're taking one account and another account, and we're joining the two accounts together. So it's really going to be amount number one plus amount number two equals total amount. That's typically the way that the first formula, first equation sets up. The second equation typically is the mixture equation, where but what you're doing is you're taking the amount for number one, and you're mixing with it. You're going to be multiplying with it the specifics to that particular amount. So in this case, we're dealing with investments, and so you're going to take the amount you're investing times the interest rate. Then the amount you're investing in number two times its interest rate. And then you want to get the mixture. The mixture is the total amount that you want at the end of the day. And in this case, because it's interest, it's total interest that you want. So these are the two equations that we're going to be using here. The two general formats we're going to be using for our equations as we approach this problem. So let's take a look at the problem now. We have a total of 6,000. Oops, sorry. We have a total of $6,000 being invested. Part of it at 5% interest and the remainder at 9% interest. How much do we have to invest in each to achieve a total interest of 530? So we don't have much in the way of information or numbers, but we have enough in order to get us what we need. So let's focus on the first equation here, the amount. And oops, we're only told that we have $6,000 to spend, but it's being divided between two accounts. So what we're going to do is let's let X be the amount invested in the 5% account, and let Y be the amount invested in the 9% account. So you're just labeling how much. The X and the Y tell you how much you're going to be investing in the two different accounts. And so then when we do our equation, number one for the amount, then it just becomes the amount that we put in one account plus the amount we put in the second account. How much are we investing? 6,000 bucks. So let me clean that up a little bit. And I'm going to type it here. So the first equation is the amount in the 5% account, the amount in the 9% account equals the total amount that you're investing. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to focus on, and where the work tends to be is in that second equation right there. But this is the general format, the general setup. So if you follow the setup, I hope that it'll lead you in the right way. Okay, so the amount that's in, what we're talking about, the amount one here, is we're talking about the same thing, the amount that you're investing in the first account. Well, that's X. We don't know how much we're spending in that first account yet. We're done because it's right there. We don't know. The interest rate, though, for it, well, because remember, X is tied to the 5% account, then the interest rate for it is 5%. Amount in the second account, well, that's the Y, that's the 9% account. And then the total interest that we want, the problem told us that right here. That's $530. Okay, so let's clean it up. I'm going to write the second equation then. So the way we're going to write it is, so we typically put the number, we could do X times 5%, but we like to put the number in front. So instead of 5%, by the way, we're going to go ahead and convert that to a decimal. So 0.05 times X plus, and then 9% times Y is 0%, 0.09 times Y, and then the total interest is 530. Okay, and so there are two equations. Let me write those down because I'm going to have to erase this a little bit here. So the key to the whole thing, I'm just writing it down right now. The key to the whole thing, at least in my opinion, is these two general formats. Those help to create your equation, because once you have the two equations now, I recommend using the substitution property. So let me erase this so we can actually do that part of the problem. So we have X plus Y equals 6,000, 0.05X plus 0.09Y equals 530. So let's use the substitution property. So we're going to take the top equation here, X plus Y equals 6,000, and let's rewrite it as Y equals 6,000 minus X. Subtract the X from both sides. And so what we're going to do then is this actually says Y is equal to 6,000 minus X, or Y is also known as 6,000 minus X. Why does it help us? Is because when we see the Y here in the second equation, you replace it, substitute it with its alias. It's another name. So the Y here is going to become 6,000 minus X. And so we say 0.05 X plus 0.09, and we'd put parentheses. And now we solve. So for this part right here, you're going to have to distribute the 0.09, which means take the 0.09 and multiply it. Oops, it's supposed to be 6,000. Multiply it to each term inside the parentheses. Let's go ahead and do the multiplication now. This becomes 540. Now we have to combine the like terms, 0.05x minus 0.09x. So that gives us negative 0.04x plus 540 equals 530. And now we have to move the 540, subtract it from both sides. And so let me come up here now. I'm going to move. So negative 0.04x plus 540 equals 530. We need to move that 540 over. So what we're going to do is subtract 540 from both sides. And that gives us negative 0.04x equals negative 10. And now we have to get rid of this negative 0.04. And so we divide sides by that negative 0.04, the same exact thing in front of the variable. So do your division now. I have to break out my calculator. You should be using a calculator too, by the way, if you're not already. Oops. So I get 250. Okay, so that's how much is invested in. Remember what we labeled things as. X is the amount that is labeled, that is invested in the 5%. So we're investing, oops, not 250, should be 2,500. Let me check my math right quick. Okay. Do it another way. Okay, yeah. So we found out the result. See, the X represents the amount invested at 5%. So that's $250. So what's the amount invested at 9%? Well, remember that is 6,000 minus that. So that would be $5,750. So that's the values that go here. Okay, and so the whole key to the process are the equations, the format of the two equations that I gave at the very beginning. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to send me your work. I'm happy to review that too. You can take a screenshot and text it to me or email it to me. I'll be glad to lend a hand. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.